Okay, well, let's try this again. Find out why our first attempt didn't work. Okay, as you see here, this is the result of printing the graphic, the composite battles of the Mississippi Vicksburg campaign onto the fabric. It's 8 feet by 5 feet, so it's 60 inches by 96 inches. And what we're seeing is the unpainted 3D printed ships and unpainted forts and so on. We just didn't get there yet. We will. And we put in some three 10 millimeter scale regiments. So they're down in there to give us an idea of the scale here. And what we wanted to do was make it, we had to simplify the rules dramatically. In other words, there are no rules. There are no rules for the infantry other than the fact that there's a range they fire, which is, say 4 hexes. And in that 4 hexes, they have to score a die. That's it. There's no modifiers. Well, I should say that there's no other parameters to consider when a thing fires at a thing. It's simply the range and any other commander benefit that there might be, commander in sphere or something of that nature, things in cover. Obviously, infantry firing to a fort, there's no way that they can cause any damage to it. So they'll be very lucky to do any damage just by firing on it with small arms. They may hit the crew and so on, but otherwise the chances of that happening are remote. But on the ground combat, you've got your infantry, maybe there's some defenders and so on in all of the terrain, and it's basically going to be, you got to roll code to hit. If you don't roll code, which is red, then you don't hit the target. Obviously, if you do hit the target, if it's in cover, it's not a full hit, it's going to be an incremental hit, right? There's 3 incremental hits to a full red casualty hit, right? Just like in the Hex Command system, 3 red casualty hits and an item is routed. Well, what does a defender route to? Well, all we know is a defender, if they're defending and they get routed, they're going to leave their current position. Now, if it's a straight up melee, like these regiments just attack the fort and try and storm it or take this ridiculously huge fortress Vicksburg and just storm it, then that's a whole different matter, and you just get it right into the melee combat. All right, so that's where we're at, and as you can see, it's worked out pretty fantastically. So we're really excited, and again, the ship combat has got to be just as simple. Obviously, this is a very narrow strait. The ships are going to be not coming in just here. There are some coming in here, but there are also some coming in down here. So the intention is to have the arriving Navy here, land some troops and get those troops down to this location, and have the arriving Navy here attack the forts, and as well as this landing force that's going to come in and land on these beaches. That's why this is basically a D-Day scenario. And frankly, if I was going to play this myself, I'd be the defender, because it looks like, you want to win. The defender can definitely win this. The attacker has a very good chance because the Confederate Navy is not very big, and there are not many ironclads. So on a ship-to-ship combat level, these guys will definitely obliterate these guys, which they actually did during the whole Mississippi 1862 to 1864-ish period of time. So there we are. And then I didn't put the roads in yet. Actually, there may not be any roads. I may just leave it this one railway. Oh, and I forgot to mention, the rail comes in here, the train comes in here, and then it can deliver troops all along its route. And it's just going to be one brigade. Okay, so there we are. We'll come back and with any other commentary we have, and the other things that we need to tweak, adjust, and so on, especially in the 3D prints. But otherwise, now that we've printed the commander stands, we're pretty close. And now everything, all the miniatures are going to be painted up, and and put on. We have many of the miniatures are painted. We just haven't based them yet, so we will do that.